Cracking Thai in 10 Sentences, episode number 9. Yes, we're up to 9. That means after today, we're going to have 90 sentences that we've covered so far in this series. I've uploaded all of the 80 sentences before this to jacademy.com. So what we do here is, in YouTube land, we'll go through the first 3. The first 3 should take about 10 to 15 minutes. That means that if you have a look at 10 sentences, you're looking at about 30 to 40 minutes of really deep diving into real colloquial Thai language. Now, the reason I've done this, David Martin has taken over 4,000, now over 5,000 of the most real, extremely useful Thai sentences and put them all in one set. Now, if you just did these as spaced repetition, you would be missing the depth and all of the nuance of the language. That's what this series is about. I also want to mention that if you've ever struggled with Thai tones, I've just put a trilogy out on YouTube. And this is the deepest dive that you're ever going to get on not only Thai tones, but tones in general. And what we do is we jump out and we look at tones, link them into Vietnamese and Chinese through the vehicle of, if Vietnamese can develop a romanization system for their language and the sound system, the tone system, the consonants, the vowels are all eerily similar to Thai, well, why can't we use something like that for Thai? And so we take a journey that leads us to a point with a full, robust, romanized writing system using the principles of Vietnamese for Thai. But on the way, you're going to learn more about Thai tones than you ever thought you could learn. So make sure that you check that out. Now, our sentences have loaded. Look at that. And so the first sentence is ไม่สมบูรณ์แบบ Okay. This looks like it may have been directly translated from English. I'm suspecting maybe it's come from subtitles in a movie or something, but I guess somebody could say it. Have a look first here at the word ไม่ Pretty normal. It's not. So something not. And then this word is probably something that we want to have a look at spelling wise because it looks really weird. If you have a look at this word here, som, this is from Sanskrit, meaning same, together with. That's why in Indonesian, sama-sama, and I guess in English, the same word, same. I guess it's an Indo-European thing, meaning the same or together with. So first of all, whenever you see this som, something as a particle in a word, it usually means with or together. And then here we have a really interesting word. Now you see by the spelling instantly, first of all, we have this u and then this r. This will never ever happen in a Thai word. So it's probably almost 100% come from Sanskrit or Pali. And then we have this non-nan here. And again, this letter here is from the letters that don't occur naturally in Thai, T-A-I languages. So we know that that's come from Sanskrit. And this galan here is showing that we don't actually pronounce it. It's a silencing marker. And so this word, สมบูรณ์ สมบูรณ์ you can hear that som, that's like a rising tone, boon, common tone, สมบูรณ์ means perfect. But you can't use this in the same sense that we always use perfect in English. So for example, supposing I was going shopping and I was looking for a shirt and I said, I don't really like that color. And the shop assistant said, well, how about this color? Perfect. That would sound very natural in English, but in Thai, you wouldn't say สมบูรณ์ it just sounds weird. The way this word สมบูรณ์from the word burana is put together, it basically means in a state of perfection, like real perfection. So supposing a mother had a baby and the baby was healthy, everything was in order, had 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, 1 nose, I think that's normal. But if everything is in the way that it should be and there's nothing wrong with it, that is สมบูรณ์ I guess that's kind of what the original meaning in English may have been, perfect, something that is to perfection, but we use it in a very different idiomatic way in English. You can't use it that way. So you would use this word in Thai, สมบูรณ์, when something is in a state of completion. It's more of this state of completion. If you speak Indonesian or Malay, you would know the word sempurna, and actually the brand of cigarettes. Now, originally in old Indonesian Dutch spelling, they would spell sempurna with an OE, being the U. And in modern Indonesian, we spell it SEMPURNA. We've changed the OE from Dutch to a U in English to match this U that we see in Thai here, which comes from Sanskrit, from this word sampurna, which is sempurna in Indonesian, sempurna in Malay, or mbuun in Thai. Do not use it like we use the word perfect in English. You would only use it describing things in a state of completeness or wholeness. That's perfection. Now here, it isn't perfect, it's imperfect. They've translated it like this. I'm suspecting that this is a bit of a dodgy translation from a movie. Maybe not. Let's see the context here. ไม่ใช่สิ่งสำคัญ It's not something important. ไม่สมบูรณ์แบบ It's not perfect. So maybe they were looking for something, and maybe they were looking for, I don't know, a car or something, and then they saw wheels missing. ไม่สมบูรณ์แบบ It's not in a state of perfection. Notice that's only if it's not in its physical state of perfection. It's very nuanced, and you've got to sort of feel when this would be used, but as a general rule of thumb, don't use the word sempurna as a direct exchange for the word perfect in English. You've got to feel where it would be used idiomatically. Just be careful using sempurna. It's not what you think. Next sentence. Sentence number 3513, which is sentence number 2 in today's series. เข้ามาข้างใน Okay, that's pretty straightforward. It's something that you will hear mothers call out to the kids all the time. เข้ามาข้างใน Come on, come in. This kauma, if you've done Cracking Thai Fundamentals, if you haven't, get the book, take the online course, get them both because they complement each other. But this kau means to enter in. So kauma is come in. But in English, for example, if the police were outside of the door and they were knocking on the door and said, can we come in? Can we come in? That sounds perfectly normal in English. เข้ามาได้ไหม But if you say that in Thai, it's a very different meaning because, as I describe in Cracking Thai Fundamentals in the Thinking and Meanings module, this ma is a directional word. And so เข้ามา wherever the speaker is, เข้า, that's the direction that that action of เข้าing, of entering, is going to. So เข้ามา would be to enter in, coming to the point of the speaker. But if you were those policemen standing outside wanting to go in, even in English, if I said, can I come in? That would sound weird. That would be a syntax error in Thai. You would say, ขอเข้าไปได้ไหมครับ? Can I please go in? เข้าไป because I'm standing here and I want to enter in from the outside. So just be very careful using even the simplest of verbs. You need to make sure that these directional words that I cover ad nauseum in Cracking Thai Fundamentals, get the book, you need to make sure that these complement whatever the verb is correctly. And then ข้างใน Notice that this is the opposite of how you would use it in Chinese languages. ข้าง means like bien, aside, and ใน is ใน inside. So in Chinese, ใน bien, in, bien, side. Here in Thai, it's ข้างใน it's side, in. So on the inner side. So Thai flips it around. In Vietnamese, it's the same structure as Thai, except the words ben would be closer to the Sinitic word. Okay, so I guess we've milked this sentence for everything that we can. Just make sure you get those directional words right. Next sentence. Sentence 2711, or sentence 3 for this episode 9 of Cracking Thai in 10. It is ราคาเป็นกันเอง. It's very rare that you'll get a sentence this long that will have the same tone for every single syllable. But here we've got it. Let's have a look at it. ราคา Now notice, okay, we've got รอเรือ. If you were saying it according to how your Thai teachers will tell you to say it, ราคา. If you were saying it the way Thais really say it, ราคา ราคาเป็น. So ราคา is a price. This ราคา has come from a Sanskrit word. Ben, to be. Okay, so ราคาเป็น, the price is. Not much to say here. The thing to talk about here is this word กันเอง. Gan, we've talked about in other episodes. Gan has several meanings, but in this sense, gan is this reciprocation, just like the word 香 in Chinese. So we've talked about to รักกัน. Rak is love. รักกัน, to love one another. In Chinese, it would be xiang ai. Xiang is the same principle of gan ai, to love. So xiang ai, to love each other. Rak gan, love gan, to love one another. So this gan is a reciprocation. Okay, and here we have the word eng. Eng is self. So ben gan eng. But when you hear these together, gan eng is basically like saying, as we would say in English in Australia, mates rates. The general meaning of gan eng, I guess if you were to explain it in English, is I want to get the special treatment that would be afforded to a local, not just local living in the country, but local meaning within the inner circle of friendship. And that could happen within a neighborhood or a community or from the same province, this gan eng price, or even between family members. Gan eng, which in extension then means give me the cheapest price. When marketers will talk about we're going to give you the best price that we can get, we're not going to rip you off. And so this is the most colloquial use of this saying, gan eng. It can be used for other things other than just price, but most of all, you will hear it talking about price. And so when you see ราคาเป็นกันเอง it basically means we're going to give you a price that's not screwing you. We're going to give you the cheapest price that you could probably get for whatever it is that you're buying. As opposed to this whole dual pricing thing. So you've probably seen these signs up where foreigners get a different price to locals. And often the foreigner price is written in the Arabic numerals like we have in English, and the Thai price, it'll be one of the very few times that you will see the Thai price written in actual Thai numerals. We saw this just recently. I took my daughter to Safari World. You'll see that the foreigner price is 1,500 baht to go in and see all the exhibits and the animals and everything all day. And then in Thai numerals, you'll see the Thai price, which is 750 baht and less for kids. And so Thais will, of course, get the cheaper price. I got the cheaper price. It's not about how you look, it's your prosody. And honestly, they didn't even ask for my ID. It's the way that you engage with the staff from the get-go will generally result in whether or not you're going to get the foreigner price. But if you don't want to get the foreigner price, if you want the gan eng price, I guess you wouldn't use gan eng in this sense because it's actually a real two-tier pricing system. But supposing you're going to rent a house or you're going to buy something that you could normally negotiate the price on, you would probably hear this word gan eng come up a lot because, look, just give me the local price. Or look, I'm giving you the price that I'd give to my own relatives, I'd give to my own mother. ราคาเป็นกันเอง This is a very common thing that you're going to hear. Okay, I guess I've milked that for all it's worth. That's the end of the first 3 sentences. We've got another 7 sentences to go. If you want to watch the rest of these along with over 5 hours so far of the most in-depth analysis on the nuance of normal Thai idiomatic language, well, come in and watch the whole series in jkme.com. This is Cracking Thai in 10 Sentences. And you'll get access to all the other Thai resources, including the Cracking Thai Fundamentals Suite, Thai Bites, everything. So do that. Don't forget to go and watch that trilogy looking at Thai, Chinese, Vietnamese tones. You'll get a masterclass in tones. So for those in YouTube land, I'm Stuart J. Rad. Scan the QR code down bottom. I'll see you on the other side. For those who are not in YouTube land, let's go. Next sentence.